So you get fired from the cannon, and it reminds me a lot of in Wind Waker when Link gets shot out of the cannon onto the Forbidden Fortress.
I don't think I actually played. I barely played any Wind Waker stuff.
But yeah, there's a scene where Link gets shot out of a cannon. He kind of smashes against the wall. But
Cool.
anyway, you get fired out of the cannon, and you get to Zonga Zonga's castle, his floating fortress. And you challenge him, and you fight 3 zombie Venusaurs. There are skeletons and there are zombies, which automatically makes this game really awesome. So you fight the 3
What's the
zombies.
difference?
The Bonysaurs are just skeletons, and the zombies actually look like zombies. So you have to face off against 3 zombie Venusaurs, and they have really devastating support effects. They can just decimate your attack zone. So you probably want to attack from the support zone, or have a lot of boosting support effects on your own team. But that's a pretty difficult battle, and then you beat him, and he gets all frustrated, and basically he gives up Rupert's body, and his skull. He transforms his skull into a dinosaur, basically. Except it's no ordinary dinosaur. It's like a freaking dragon.
Hold on. Here's my question. If he could have done that the whole time, why didn't he?
Well, from what he says, it's kind of like a last resort. The absolute most powerful thing he can do is turn himself into this monster. So you fight him, and he has Zonga Zonga himself, and then he has 2 zombie T-Rexes, which are really annoying to fight because you kill one, and in 2 turns it will regenerate.
The same big ass dinosaur you showed me.
Yeah, the one with the arms coming out of his bony arms coming out of his shoulders above his normal arms.
Yeah.
So the zombie T-Rex is like so annoying. You kill it, and in 2 turns it resurrects itself. That's its ability.
Oh my god, it's an immortal T-Rex.
Yeah, and only the zombie T-Rex has this ability. None of the other zombies have it.
Well, it's the final boss. He's gotta be hard as all hell.
But he's not, actually. If you know what you're doing and you plan well, he's actually really easy. You can refight him after you finish the main story mode.
I'd imagine he's harder than Lord Tonsillitis there, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but he's actually very good for grinding experience points if you want to level up.
This is one of those bosses you can fight as many times as you want.
Yes, except it's not quite the same as the other game because there's no time travel. It's just it's like a replica of the original castle, and there's a person that you have to pay to fight him, which is kind of annoying. But you pay the person, and then the scene is recreated, and you fight Zonga Zonga and the 2 T-Rexes at max rank. I believe when you fight him the first time, they're only rank 12. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's rank 12.
So you have to pay money to fight him, and he's harder.
Yes, but he gives 60 battle points each time you win, which is a lot. And it's a pretty easy battle.
You know.
My recommendation is to have Compso, obviously, because you want Compso. He's like the most important Venusaur to have because his support effects. This is why Compso is essential. His support effects lower the opponent's attack and defense by 90%. So you do that to Zonga Zonga, he can't touch you. He can attack, but he can't do any real damage. So that's definitely what you want to have. But also, his zombie T-Rexes lower all your stats except attack, and so you have no accuracy. Your accuracy is like below 0, so you don't stand a chance. You definitely need boosted accuracy, and boosted attack would certainly help. And I found the best way to do that is Iguanodon's Super Evolved form, Hibigon, which doubles your attack and accuracy.
And that's the Chikorita dial you showed me.
Chikorita dial. That's a pretty good description of it. Actually, that's what it looks like. So I recommend if you have a super evolved like Raja, you can like destroy him. Raja is kind of a game breaker, but I'll get to that later. I'll get to the game breaker part later because that is something else I have to discuss. Because this game is so broken, unbelievable. So anyway, you can grind off him. He's that easy. You just have something strong in the attack zone. Be sure you attack Zonga Zonga before the T-Rexes because he has much higher hit points. He has 777 hit points, and the T-Rexes only have 220. So they're easy to knock out. But you have to do them in consecutive turns or in the same turn because they'll just revive themselves. So you want to focus on Zonga Zonga first. Once he's down, you pretty much got it. Because the T-Rexes can't do a thing with their attack lowered so much, and they don't have any defense to begin with, so you can easily take them out in one turn. And yeah, I found that the previous battle with the other zombies was actually quite a bit more difficult than this one, which is disappointing because final boss and all. He was a good boss. I don't know if I would say it's easier than Ganesh, but he's more dignified than Ganesh, that's for sure.
Right. Like,
Giant ice cream cone.
See, my life theory is, even if the boss is harder, it's okay if a boss is hard, but you also want it to be a boss that you don't feel embarrassed to lose to.
Yeah.
And I'd be pretty embarrassed if I lost to a giant ice cream cone.
Yeah. He's well, it's kind of messed up because in the original Fossil Fighters, max rank was 12. You got to rank 12 and your Venusaur was maxed out. And in this game, it's rank 20, so you have to get a lot more battle points, but battle points are a lot easier to get because you get more than one for pretty much every battle, depending on how hard it was.
Alright.
You get certain battle points. So it's easier to level up. You have to level up more, but it's easier. And something else that it's inconvenient, but I really like it, is support effects. This has changed a lot from the first game. In Fossil Fighters Champions, you have to level up in order to get the full support effects. So even if you have a Compso, like up to rank 10, it only lowers the attack and defense of the opponent by 9%. And then as you get further to rank 20, you get further decrease in attack. And it's the same for all Venusaurs and their support effects. You have to level them up in order for the support effects to fully be in effect, and I like that. It makes battling a lot easier for the NPCs. They're just random people that you fight because I don't think they ever have anything above rank 10. So they can't really do anything to you as far as support effects go. And the change in battle mechanics, I have to mention this because this is a huge change from the original, and again, I like it very much. Battles are very different. You still have the one in the attack zone, 2 in the support zone, but you also have the choice to have one in the support zone and 2 in the attack zone. And if 2 are in the attack zone, then the effects on them are split in half. This can be worked to your advantage. But you can switch the position at any time. It just costs 5 FP per space you move. So moves that would previously be really annoying, like knock moves, like headbutt, it just rotates, and you can pay 5 or 10 or 15 fighting points, and you're right back where you started, and you don't really lose any turns for that. Because the escape zone, that was just a real pain. Because the Venusaur is out of the battle for 2 turns, and it comes back to the battle in one of the support zones, and then you have to, if you want it to be in the attack zone again, you have to do another retreat. And that got really, really tiring. Completely inconvenient. And rotation is a lot easier.
From what I've seen, they remind me a lot of the rotation battles in Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I was really interested because I heard rotation battle, and I was immediately wondering if it was anything like Fossil Fighters. Rotation. Also important when you think about rotation and formation in general is Venusaurs now have range. In the first game, you had normal Venusaurs, and then you had long range Venusaurs, which could attack from the support zone or to the support zone for that matter, at no downgrade like most Venusaurs. It's weaker to attack the support zone or from the support zone. But long-range Pokemon, you didn't have that. Long-range Pokemon, I'm going to do that a lot. Anyway, there are now 3 different ranges. There's close range, which is what you would expect, attack zone to attack zone. But there's also mid-range, which is attack zone to support zone or support zone to attack zone. And that's the most useful I've found. But I might get into that a little later. I might do a separate battle strategies video for that, like I've done before. Because there's a lot of new mechanics to explore.
It certainly sounds like it.
Yeah, it's an easier to use fighting system in my opinion, and it's I don't know, it's an improvement. It's what you expect from a sequel. Well, it's not what you expect from a sequel. It's what you want from a sequel, but that's very different. But this is a really, really good sequel. Like, even Colosseum and Gale of Darkness, which was Colosseum's sequel, kind of.
Like, Gale of Darkness and how are those two connected? I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I would be curious as to how those two are connected story-wise, because it's not the same protagonist.
It's not the same protagonist, but it's the same. It's basically the same organization, except a different leader took over after the original guy was arrested. But the Team Snag'em leader is still there, and Gale of Darkness takes place 5 years after Colosseum. Unfortunately, all the good features are removed. The Under, the Deep. The Under was one of the coolest places in the game, and Pokemon didn't exactly get dark at any point, except for like the first generation.
That was like
Lavender
the
Town.
Darkest that game ever got. Like the actual ghost
Of a murdered Marowak.
Yeah.
And Colosseum was pretty dark, and it was more of a roughneck kind of environment, where if you didn't stand up for yourself, you'd just be absolutely nothing.
Like it's the Wild Wild West down there.
It is.
You have to. Our friend Joe.
You have to fight your way in order to survive.
We're getting a bit off topic. I take it, but
yeah. But and then, okay, back to sequels. Unfortunately, the dark tone of Colosseum wasn't quite achieved by Gale of Darkness. Gale of Darkness was still a really great game, but especially with the protagonist, you have to admit the Pokemon formula is pretty worn out. Young hero goes out, stops evil team, and becomes the Pokemon champion. In Colosseum, basically, you are a thief who runs away from his own gang and blows them up, and then just goes around stealing Pokemon. They happen to be he's stealing them from evil people, but he's still stealing them.
Right on.
And even in Gale of Darkness, you get a different kind of snag machine, And unfortunately, it's programmed that you're not allowed to snag anything that's not a shadow Pokemon. And I think that's a very unfortunate.
Right.
I mean, there's one thing to say, okay, that's not a shadow Pokemon, I shouldn't do that. But it's a completely different to say it is designed not to work on anything but a shadow Pokemon.
Huh.
That's too limiting.
Right.
I like the freedom.
I like the option to be a thieving bastard.
Yeah. So Gale of Darkness, well, a very good sequel. I wouldn't say it was better than the original. The graphics were better and the story was longer. And
that's the one with the Power Rangers, right?
Yes, it's the one with the Power Rangers.
What were they called again?
The Hexagon Brothers.
Oh god, those guys.
The Hexagon Brothers. And of course, my favorite character of the games, Mirror B. How can you not love Mirror B? He's the Disco King. He's got the Pokeball afro. He's just awesome. His team of dancing Ludicolos, he's just awesome. So he's in both games, which automatically makes it a pretty good sequel. But I wouldn't call it better than the original because it wasn't as dark.
But you say the new
But